Hello there, welcome to the channel. This is Rex Nebula, and I have good news. Dokibird has responded to Nijisanji's announcements. So not too long ago, Nijisanji responded to Selen Tatsuki's termination. There was a lot of controversy regarding the termination notice, and obviously they had to respond to it. Vox Akuma, Evelyn, and Elira Pendora went onto Elira's channel to talk about Selen Tatsuki's termination. Nijisanji would come out to put out a statement apologizing for the Selen Tatsuki termination, and he apologized to investors as well. Dokibird was playing Neopets on a livestream when Elira, Vox, and Ike was accusing her of some things, and obviously she took some time to respond, saying she may be forced to talk to her lawyers and put out a full statement, and now Dokibird has put out that full statement on Twitter. This is a very long tweet. He released it not too long ago, about 1 hour ago, and we are going to talk about it. This is a very long tweet. It's like a tweet longer. It is a tweet longer. It's so long. So what does Dokibird say? So Dokibird says she was ready to move on. She had made her last statement and she hasn't been looking at anything regarding her past at Nijisanji for a full week. She didn't look at anything regarding her legal documents or anything regarding her situation ever since she moved back to her Dokibird account. Doki said she wanted to be hopeful for the future and never interact with that side again. By that side, she refers to Nijisanji. Dokibird would go on to say that, so to see it all come back and reopen a wound that I was already ready to heal from, and to have to talk to my lawyer again on how to respond was disappointing. So Dokibird is now going to talk about the legal documents that Vox, Elira, and Ike was talking about on the Elira Pendora livestream. The legal document mentioned was at first made to document Dokibird's thoughts and her history with evidence, so her lawyer could see the general picture of what was going on and if there were any issues that had to be addressed. Dokibird would clarify that it was made during her darkest time mentally, and she wrote everything on her mind little by little at a time, and she reveals that she made the document thinking that it was never going to be public to anyone but to her lawyer. The document was filled with Dokibird's personal information as well as privacy information that should never be made public. Dokibird would also say that there were no other addresses or specific locations mentioned. Wait a minute, this contradicts Elira's statement. In Elira's livestream, when they were talking about Selen Tatsuki, basically Dokibird's past life, Elira mentioned that she saw addresses of herself, Enna, Aloutte, as well as Millie, Parfait on those legal documents. So who is telling the truth here? Is Elira lying? Did she make a mistake? Because Elira clearly said she was scared because she didn't want to be doxxed because her address, along with her fellow co-workers, was on the legal document that Selen's legal team gave to Nijisanji. Dokibird's words right here basically contradict Elira's claim, which is good. That means there will be no doxing. And now Dokibird starts talking about Vox Akuma's claim. So before we continue, I just want to be clear that Dokibird doesn't mention Nijisanji, she doesn't mention Elira Pendora, Evelyn, Vox Akuma, or any of the Nijisanji vtubers, or anyone from the company she used to work in. The only reason I am putting them in is because you guys need to know context. There is no other person Dokibird could possibly be referring to, because this entire long-ass statement is a response to the video uploaded onto the Elira Pendora channel where they talk about Selen Tatsuki. It's a response to Nijisanji, as well as the accusations. Right, so regarding Vox Akuma's voice recording, basically what happened is Vox Akuma accused Selen Tatsuki of recording him during the time when there was an event called the AR Live on Nijisanji that was cancelled. Vox Akuma was upset because while Selen was still at Nijisanji, she recorded some voice recordings of Vox Akuma during the time of the cancelled event that was called the Nijisanji AR Live, and Selen would keep this recording in secret for almost a year. And Vox Akuma felt this was a betrayal of their friendship together. Dokibird is basically addressing these allegations. Dokibird says regarding the recording, this was not intended to be anything other than a distribution test for the planning of a collaborative event between two people, which happened to be left over from one test recording, and she has never recorded any other conversations with anyone. The recording was never shown anywhere, even in a legal setting, and there are no other records. However, Dokibird does regret that it was mentioned, and she was sorry to all parties affected for any misunderstandings in this. Yeah, this is good. This is very good. Now Vox doesn't need to worry. We all thought that the recording was because Vox said something bad to her, but now it just seems that Selen was just recording Vox because of an event, and the recording wasn't even meant to out him. It was just left over from one test recording. Doki has even said sorry if anyone misunderstood the voice recording part in the legal document. Dokibird requested that she just wanted to move on. Sometimes she didn't hear anything for days from the lawyers on the other side. Okay, I think Dokibird is talking about her time at Nijisanji, when she was negotiating with Nijisanji's lawyers regarding her situation. This is before the termination, so Dokibird didn't hear anything for days from the lawyers, and she felt alone and isolated for a long time. It was hard for her mentally, and then eventually on February 5th, Selen Tatsuki's lawyer would discuss and said that it would be best to show the legal document Selen wrote to the other lawyers, as they had not heard from Nijisanji for a week. There were no negotiation talks. There was no meetings to discuss Selen Tatsuki's situation after she put in a request to Nijisanji to just graduate. It says here request to part, so it's basically a graduation. Dokibird would say it was never intended to be used for anything else. She asked her lawyer to convey that to Nijisanji and to have communication that the legal document as it was written wasn't going to be released anywhere. Her lawyer did so when sending the document. And then less than 2 hours after Selen Tatsuki's lawyer sent the document, Nijisanji's termination notice came out. Selen Tatsuki was very shocked and thought that was the last time she would hear or think about the document, and in her own opinion, she thought that was the end of the lawyers and the legal involvement. Wait a minute, we all thought she was suing Nijisanji, but I think, based on what Dokibird is saying right here, she doesn't want to sue Nijisanji. She was just using the lawyers to talk with Nijisanji's lawyers so she could graduate. That was all she wanted. She's not suing Nijisanji for damages. She just wants to move on. This is good news. This is extremely good news. Dokibird isn't suing Nijisanji. This is good. This is good. She doesn't need to take the risk of suing a large corporation. She's free. She's actually free now. She can do anything she wants. She's free to go around pissing off RPR while they play Apex Legends. She's free to just swallow Gumiho's spit. She's free to do anything she wants. This is wonderful. Dokibird would talk about why some misunderstandings happened. So she says all the communication was done between lawyers in Japanese. Things are not black and white, and everything gets more complicated and muddled when lawyers are involved in a different country. When things are conveyed to multiple parties through different degrees of communication, everything turns into different narratives and different translations. Dokibird thought it was over, and she accepted what happened, and she was ready to move on. This is consistent with what she said ever since she returned. She would say everything she posted to the public about the situation was a response. If it was a month ago, it would have been different, as she was angry, but she was also very alone in her own head. But it's not a month ago, and she has accepted the situation. Dokibird wanted this entire situation to be neutral and private, but now the entire world is involved, and the public is watching every step that happens. Dokibird says she's not perfect, and she has faults. She had to watch her dad cry and break down in front of her for the first time in her life last night. Despite everything that has happened, please show kindness to all parties involved. There are real people behind the monitors. One of the reasons why she wanted this to be private is that the internet can be a cruel place. Yeah, we know. And she knew this would happen the moment this type of notice drops. Dokibird would also talk about her suicide attempts. Dokibird said, what I didn't reveal to anyone and only my parents and therapist knew, that it was not one attempt, but two, which happened a few weeks after the first. This is just getting worse. My parents found me in time after searching for me for hours before anything happened. I was in a really dark place, and I do not wish this to be anyone. No one should go through what I went through. I reveal this now, not for pity, but to state that no life, no matter what, should be risked for ego or winning anything. There are no winners in this. Please don't make it like high school. Treat everyone like adults with empathy and kindness. I feel bad for Doki right now. We're nearing the end, guys. For those who wish to see receipts or documents or anything else, hoping that I will reveal them, I'm sorry, but these are things that should be private and, if needed, between lawyers. Revealing private documents and talking about details within will only just make the situation worse and more complicated as outside parties get involved, and this will just hurt everyone. No one deserves to be pushed over the edge. So many people have got hurt and involved, even if they were innocent bystanders. In the end, I will always be here to respond, and that is the only thing I will do in public. I hope that this will be the last statement I have to make. Guys, it's over. This entire drama is over. Dokibird ended this herself. It's gone now. Everyone wins. Dokibird wins, Nijisanji wins. As long as Nijisanji keeps quiet and they don't respond to anything and they just continue as usual, I feel that things will just get better. If someone else just comes in and starts stirring up problems again, it doesn't matter. Because Nijisanji can just say that they are just respecting their ex-rival's decision to move on. Yeah, it's over. Nijisanji wins. Dokibird wins. She's completely free to do anything she wants. Dokibird isn't even suing anyone. There's no damning voice recording that Vox was saying. There's no doxing of the talents because there's not even any addresses in the legal document. Dokibird has confirmed this. There's nothing there. There's no way Nijisanji could possibly mess this up. As long as they look at this statement and understand their talent wants to move on and they don't respond anymore, that's fine. The situation improves for them. Their stock price goes up. I think this is it. There's no way Riku Tazumi, the CEO of Nijisanji, could possibly do anything to mess this up. All he has to do is either keep quiet or release a statement, like a PR statement saying, we will no longer talk about Selen Tatsuki, we are moving on. That's it, drama over, we all move on. Honestly, I'm just glad that Dokibird clarified everything. He didn't air out any dirty laundry, no incriminating evidence, just the desire to move on. Dokibird is officially free. Nothing possibly mess this up. We're done here. That's the end of the video. And I'm just glad that this is just good news after so long. This is Rex Nebula signing out.